My name is Athi-Patra Ruga. I am a performance artist. Also work with video, I work with sound, I work with animation, I work with theatrical works. I'm moving towards theatrical works at the moment. My journey started with me moving from East London to Johannesburg to study fashion. And in that space, I learned that the medium for me was not enough because of its transient nature. It's here today, gone tomorrow, and I always found that it was not political. I always found a place with using my body to actually communicate politics, yeah? And from then on, I got mentors who were in performance art and in the art world to actually teach me how to work with my body to talk about the really pressing matters that are probably my creation and make me create. Today, I want to introduce you to a place called Azania. Azania happens as a myth and a fact, and somewhere in between it got lost and forgotten. With my project, I wanted to create the myth through performance and the many disciplines in performance as to what Azania could be. It's my longest, most engaging work that I've done. It revolves around a character that has around 250 balloons. Those balloons are filled up with everything that can actually be blown into a balloon. I'm experimenting with static at the moment, so I'm using a lot of tinsel because the tinsel doesn't pop like that. It spreads around the outside of the other balloons and becomes this golden tinselish balloon thing. The popping, the first time I actually experimented with the popping, the rhythm of it is so violent. There's a violence in that popping, and once you bleed as well, it becomes this metaphor of bleeding to become something else, like a self-mutilation maybe. In 2010, I started doing these performances. The first one was in Argentina, where I actually bought these balloons, and I wanted to just create this character whose identity was all air. And I think that latex, the sound of latex rubbing against each other, and also the materials you can put into latex, and the popping sound is like a beautiful catharsis that happens while you are going through a catharsis of a procession, a cleansing, saying with one voice, we are going somewhere together. The challenge is to always get someone to get the picture. The challenge is always with the democracy that comes with going into a public space and not knowing how people are going to respond. Because I always go into these spaces trying to, not to provoke, but to solicit some kind of reaction. It's a good day if it's violent, but I've never had that good day where it is violent. And that says a lot about the prejudices we have towards certain spaces, especially in a country whereby space was so about exclusion and inclusion, you know? So I'm learning a lot more about the grace that we have as a people as becoming a performance artist. My first sort of like introduction to performance art was through the intervention. And I felt that it was the most democratic way of having a story built up. So everyone who sees the performance in public asks me what I'm doing it for. And I think that's the most important question. What am I doing it for? Azania I created because I wanted to put myself in the dead center of a world and be maybe the sense of the attraction to it, or even just bring everyone who doesn't feel like they belong in this world our elders have created for us. And I just wanted to raise this issue. I wanted to go through this catharsis, this, you can say it's me beating myself up and going through public carrying some kind of weight as some kind of penance or task that I have to do to purge. I started adding other elements to it. Video, performance. I started adding tapestry to it, stained glass. And if you listen to that list that I'm talking about, you can see that all of these, stained glass, tapestry, procession, are ways that you can say even in the past, people used these mediums to communicate. I always say it was the first pop art, really, because of the democracy that I want to do with the performances. Design is the discipline to art. I think that, and also it's a problem-solving medium. I think that art is always great with raising questions on some existentialist level, but I always feel that design comes, I walk into my studio with the mentality of a designer. And although I am an artist, but to solve many art problems and just operational things on how I get an idea and make it happen. I think design and the idea of taking what you can get and using it for greatness is what I've learned from my association and also just having an eye on design.